Salute, salute, salute. The streets are buzzing, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the pod version of the post game late finish in Minnesota. The Knicks pick up their fifth win of the season, 120 to 107. Some big performances. Salute to you, Knicks Nation out here. Appreciate you. We're going to chop this thing up, this big win. We're going to give out some grades. We're going to look ahead to the big games coming up, especially the next one in Brooklyn. Well, the Knicks are a real 500 team, picking up their fifth dub of the season, now at 5-5. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it. We're going to get into the discussion. We're going to talk about big performances from Julius, from Obi, from JB, Brunson, the absence of Mitch Robinson and Quentin Grimes, and of course Cam Reddish coming into the starting unit and are stepping up big, and Jericho Sims getting the big start. So let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, 120 to 107 on the road. So a really big, key, important win for the New York Knicks. And I've been saying this all along. I said all summer, I predicted the Knicks 45 wins. I predicted an 8th seed finish. And I feel like the Knicks are a real 500 team this season. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. But I think the Knicks really have talent and are a real 500 team. And I don't think they're going to fall below 500 by too much. We're going to see a win, a loss, a couple of wins, couple losses, things like that. Obviously, it's early in the season. The Knicks are still figuring things out. Tinkering, changing lineups, changing the rotations as well due to some absence of Quentin Grimes and Mitchell Robinson as well, and they're learning on the fly still as well. So they can certainly finish above 500 still. I did predict 45 wins. It's early in the season. Obviously, we've hit the 10th game mark as well. There's been some really positive signs. We'll talk about RJ Barrett, and his bounce back. He started slow, but he's really coming to his own now. I predicted RJ Barrett to be the X factor for this season, and just how far the Knicks can go will be largely dependent on RJ Barrett, his consistency, how much he continues to take a leap, his shooting, how consistent can it be, all of that. And of course, the bench, Obi Toppin, again, just producing in his limited minutes, his role, shooting threes, getting out on the break as well. Julius Randle bounced back. It's like the Knicks stole the Celtics, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's powers from the Garden, that matchup, and took it to Mini with them and lit it up. Julius Randle, career high, six threes. Just incredible shooting performance from Julius. He could not miss. Well, and this is what happens in the NBA. You're going to get these performances from time to time. We hope to see it more consistently, obviously. It would be nice. But no, really impressive win on the road, to claim, a win wire to wire. How often do we see the Knicks play this well, but for the full game, just led the Minnesota Timberwolves from wire to wire as well. Their defense was as bad as ours was the other night. They couldn't guard anybody right there. Their rotations were slow as well. And, depending on what their scouting report did say, they did leave a lot of the Knicks players, with an extra step to get these shots off, and Julius Randle, Obi took advantage of that. You noticed that they had a lot of extra space as well. Jalen Brunson, what can you say about him again? That I predicted again, the team MVP, Jalen Brunson, was just a smooth operator as well. As we'll pull up the box score in a minute and we'll give out grades. But just really happy with this win. The Knicks go back to 500, and we did look ahead in the last show to the upcoming games. I did look at this Brooklyn and this Minnesota game and could the Knicks split the two would be a good result. Well, the Knicks have claimed the first one in Minnesota, picked up the big dub as well. Now we go to Brooklyn full of confidence as well. So we could win both of them now, definitely. The way I'm looking at it now, there's no reason the Knicks can't go into Brooklyn and pick up another big win because this win is going to give them a lot of confidence. You know, and like I said, I joked, but maybe the Knicks have stole the Boston Celtics shooting powers from that night, and we just continue this shooting streak because Julius Randle was absolutely on fire. Obi could not miss either, and RJ Barrett's shooting is really starting to click now, and come along. So yeah, salute to Replay Gang as well. Salute to the streets of Buzzin' fam out here. Appreciate you all. Smash that like button, and it's going to be nights like this. Sometimes with late finishes, we'll be dropping a pre-record pod um, as well. For people to watch in the morning. But loving every minute of this season so far. Obviously, there's been some big wins and there's been some frustrating losses, but comes down to the Knicks roster is built. It's got some talent, and I did predict the 45 wins and 500 team. As confident as I am, that hasn't changed. The Knicks have talent on any given night. It's about building consistency now. I don't want the Knicks' best performance and their worst performance to be so far apart. It's got to be more, consistent performances. Nights like, last night in Minnesota as well. And we talked about the post-game show after the Boston loss, and just how good the Knicks played offensively as well. Struggled with rotations, struggled closing out against the Boston Celtics, but their offense started to really gel and click as well, scoring 118 points against Boston, and then last night 120 points against Minnesota. Well, a much worse defense, but the Knicks did what they had to do. They took full advantage of the extra step that those guys was giving us. And the most pleasing thing was that Minnesota weren't missing, any of their key guys really. There was D'Lo, there was Ant Edwards, there was Cat as well, and the Knicks just looked comfortable. Got some separation early in the game due to some hot shooting, and then we just put our foot on the gas, and then just kept going, man, kept going, which was really pleasing to see. Um, Part of me thinking, obviously, Tom Thibodeau, that is a story from last night, heading back to Minnesota. The team looked pretty, fired up to win the game as well, to make amends after that loss to Boston. No doubt the players came in, they gave a great effort on the defensive side of things, and moved the ball around as well. They just looked happy. They looked in a groove as well. And this could be a real clicking turning point, for this season, this win. Like I said, heading into Brooklyn now, full of confidence, and then a couple of winnable games, what expected games to win at MSG against Detroit and I believe OKC. And then we hit the 5-game West Coast trip as well. So, yeah, the Knicks could really find a groove before this West Coast trip, and claim some of these dubs, on the road and in MSG coming up against some of more of these winnable teams, these beatable teams as well. Yeah, a lot to look forward to and a lot to be pleased about from last night. The bench played well, a different starting unit, but for the most part, they really clicked as well. Cam Reddish getting his chance now. I will talk about Quentin Grimes as well. I will talk about Mitch as well. But let's get into the box score and let's get into the grades. Yep, there you have it, the box score up there. Some amazing performances as well. We'll start with the man in the thumbnail, Juju Randle. Well, career high 3-point shooting night. Salute to him. What did I say? Was it six threes before? Correct me if I'm wrong. That's 8 threes. Did Julius Randle hit 8 of 13? That was just unbelievable. In just 33 minutes. Well, 9 of 16 from the field, 8 of 13 from 3. I mean, man, he was hotter than a barbecue. Julius Randle, man, he came out popping it, step backs. I mean, all of that. Again, they gave him space early to start feeling comfortable, and he took full advantage of that. Any like I said in the last show, any NBA player can get in a groove if they're left wide open. And you don't want to do that early. Even a guy like Julius Randle can get hot on you. So Julius also shot quite well from the line, which was great. Um, Rebounded pretty solid as well. 3 assists and a +4 with that unit in 31 points. So Julius Randle took the game ball as well. And the post game interview as well. RJ Barrett was joking with him in the locker room. Some nice chemistry still there with this team. Um, whatever happens with Julius and his future with this team, obviously it's performances like this that we really hoped we would see more of, heading into this season from last season, right? There's been a lot of fans talk about, get Julius Randle off this team. Let's trade him. Maybe let's attach a pick to get rid of him. We've got to free up minutes for Obi, all of that. That's a whole nother topic. But we want to see performances like this for Randle because it's only better for this organization, whether we win, it makes his trade value higher or it also um, helps us, pick up wins, pick up wins, and makes his contract not look as bad as what some people may think it is. Um, Really, the issue with that is the fact that he's just holding up Obi Toppin, you know. But Julius Randle, for the most part, this season has been much, much better than last season as well. And it's performances like this where he takes the game ball, which really helps this team. Like I said, it's going to help the decision making moving forward, and it's going to make things easier to figure out what the plan is, moving forward. Complete game, assisting, rebounding, scoring, all of that. Of course, when you're shooting that hot, I mean, it's your night. I mean, there's nothing more to really say about that. When you shoot 8 of 13 from three, it's just silly. I mean, that's the kind of shooting we saw from Julius 2 years ago as well. So, I mean, we need to see again and again and again. Um, Julius ain't that sniper as well as we know. He came back to earth last season, but anyone can stroke it in this league. Like I said, if you're left wide open, and they paid the price. Boy, did they pay the price. With that said, so got to give Julius Randle an A. He gets the A for last night's performance as well. Yeah, salute to Julius, credit to him as well. Let's see him go on a tear now and shred Brooklyn over there, man, as well. In terms of the volume, he's probably never going to shoot that many threes again. It was a product of him being super hot, and he was just letting it fly as well. So, yeah, ain't really too much more to say about Julius. I mean, still could turn the ball over. Well, we know that that's a part of his game. He's definitely forcing it less than last season. More higher usage guys, that he's sharing the starting unit with Brunson, Barrett, Cam Reddish now. Well, so he's deferring a bit more than what he was last season. And his minutes, he ain't playing 38, 39, 41 minutes to try to win us a game now. We don't need that kind of Julius anymore as well. We need an efficient Julius and a Julius with his minutes lower as well, which is good for um, his conditioning, but it's also great for Obi to get more minutes possibly as well. And Obi did get a lot more minutes, which we'll talk about coming up. But yes, salute to Julius. He gets an A for last night's performance as well. He took it to them in mini, right? Shot the lights out. The net was on fire, really. He was just hitting nothing but the ocean with that. So, next man up is Cam Reddish. Played 29 minutes, got the start again. We all know why. In the absence of Quentin Grimes, that situation's quite, it gets quite frustrating as days go on because we don't quite know the status and the seriousness of Quentin Grimes' injuries. I'm of the belief that Quentin Grimes is a guy that's so important to this team, for this team's defense, perimeter defense, for their offense as well. Um, I was never quite sure as to how big Quentin Grimes' role would be. I think they penciled him in to be the starting guy early in the season before he got that injury, and that changed everything, like we know. And here we are sitting so far with this season, 10 games in. Quentin Grimes has only played 3 minutes in one game, and then the start in the next game, and then his foot got sore again, and then the rest is history. So Quentin Grimes, we're going to have to wait and see just how serious that is. Don't rush him back by any means, man. Take as much time as you need, Quentin Grimes, because he's a big part of this thing, right? And we're at 500. We're doing okay. We're 5-5. We're getting other guys are getting an opportunity, and they're producing with that opportunity as well. So that's good to see. And Quentin Grimes, I hope it's nothing too serious as well. This plantar fasciitis can linger. It can certainly linger on that, and you need to take it seriously. Um, I predict that he's going to be out at least for the next few games minimum, and we'll wait and see, with Quentin Grimes. But certainly he's that two-way player that this team sorely needs still in that starting unit. But in his absence, Cam Reddish, the man who was dubbed out of here early in the season, he's got no shot, he's got no chance, he's up against it. Boy, can things change in just a couple of weeks now. By no means is his future rock solid, but Cam Reddish is really, admirably carving out a role on this team, right? He's playing a role. Well, and that's what was the big question mark with Cam Reddish. Could he play a role? Could he take a back seat as well? Play with the starters now. He's played a bit with the bench, and it's been an adjustment for Cam Reddish all along. But he's doing it admirably. He's adjusting on the fly, and he's playing a role. He's not lighting things up, but he's also just doing what this team needs, basically in the absence of Quentin Grimes and with Evan Fournier being relegated to the bench. So Cam's stats, let's look at that. 29 minutes, was 2 of 8, 2 of 5 from 3-point land, hit both free throws as well. No rebounds, no assists, no steals, 2 personal fouls, was a -2, 8 points as well. So not the best night for Cam. Again, 29 minutes is probably the biggest thing for me. Tibbs is trusting him. He certainly has other options. He may not like those options anymore or as much as Cam, but he does have some other options. So he's starting Cam for a reason. Cam's size and length does open things up for the rest of the starters. It certainly does. The defense needs to pay him a lot of respect. Um, the shot, not great, but wasn't awful either. I mean, 2 of 5 from 3. As long as he can, you know, command respect from the 3-point line, and so that dudes can't sag off or go zone. I think that's what this team still really needs from that starting shooting guard wing spot. We definitely need a guy that can still hit the 3 ball. Cam's shot's pretty inconsistent, but his ability to close, attack the closeout, dribble drive, finish strong, getting passing lanes on the defensive side, be disruptive, all of those things that Cam is doing right now. And he's got to somewhat feel more comfortable. We haven't seen the best of Cam Reddish yet either. I think definitely with more playing time, I feel like Cam Reddish will get more confident, more comfortable. And with this thing, like I said, he's been moved from the starting unit back to the bench, back to the starting unit. So yeah, it's been an adjustment for Cam. So yeah, with that said, I'll give Cam Reddish a B minus. I'll give him a B minus because the stats don't jump out. But I'm watching the eye test tells me when I watch the games that Cam Reddish does have an impact. He does have an impact on the game. Again, 6'8", the size, the length. I mean, most of us see that his being disruptive is just enough to help this team. It's just being complementary for the rest of the guys, I think. And he's certainly the better option moving forward than Evan Fournier, me personally. I mean, the Knicks offense has gone to another gear, in my opinion, over the last 2, 3 games. The Knicks offense has gone to another level as well. We're dangerous on the break with Cam Reddish there again. His athleticism, his ability to close out and finish strong is a key part of this thing. And he's getting in the passing lane. Like I said, his length is so disruptive as well. He's active hands. He's getting steals, and all of those things. So, yeah, I'm intrigued. Um, don't quite know what to make of it. How long is this ride gonna continue with Cam? As long as Grimes is out, he's certainly got his chance now, and I don't see that chance being taken from him anytime soon. Because I do think Evan Fournier is going to remain, a dude coming off the bench, and Quentin Grimes, is a dude that they're going to be patient with now. I don't think they're going to rush Q dot back. So with that said, yeah, Cam, continue to do your thing, be confident in yourself. Um, know your role and what this team really needs. Good perimeter defense, stay on your man, get disruptive on the passing lane as well, finish in traffic, get on the break, get out early. And yeah, it's what this team needs. That's what a lot of Cam fans had envisioned or had hoped to see with this team, his impact and his physical tools just helping this team, things that other players don't quite have to offer. So let's see it continue. I'm still really intrigued because, like I said, Quentin Grimes is my preferred guy, who I think is more long term. But Quentin Grimes is a bit different. He's 6'5", stockier, not as long in wingspan as well. So yeah, Cam's got an opportunity to forge a role for himself that may keep him with this team. After all that's been said and written, I mean, it just goes to show that these why the games are played. We could speculate, we could talk about the wider league and the Utah Jazz and other teams that are underachieving and overachieving, but they're just predictions. We play these games so that players, can make an impact as well. And when the ball's bounced, anything can happen. That's why we love sport. That's why we love this game. That's why we love watching these Knicks as well, for the unpredictability, and Cam Reddish is giving us that right now. So yeah, I'm intrigued, and I'm going to continue to watch closely to see his impact moving forward. So B minus for Cam and an A for Randle. Now Jericho Sims as well. Happy that he's getting an opportunity, even though it's for a different reason. Obviously, Mitch is out. They went with Isaiah to start with the last game. Now it's Jericho Sims. I feel like they want Isaiah coming off the bench now. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns' size was was the matchup, in this particular game. So they went with Jericho in 17 minutes. He was 2 of 2 as well. Didn't shoot a free throw. Got one offensive rebound, 4 total on the boards, one turnover, a block, and was a 0 in the plus minus and 4 points, but with 5 personal fouls as well. So happy for the man that he's getting an opportunity now. 17 minutes, meaningful minutes is great for Jericho, and he's obviously going to continue to get an opportunity. I mean, big man with Mitch out, it's like next man up, basically next man up with Jericho. So let's see how many minutes he gets in the next game, depending on the matchup in Brooklyn. They're not as big as Minnesota with Nick Claxton, so it's going to be interesting. But I do love Jericho's verticality. He had that finish on the break that Evan dished out, which was great to see him finish slam that. He had a nice slam put back as well. He put back the miss layup as well. So Jericho's there when you need him for those putbacks. That athleticism is critical for this team. It's good to see him pick up a block. He ain't the rim protector that Mitch is, but to see him get a block or two, and pull some rebounds is important for this team in just 17 minutes. So again, well done, Jericho, playing a role, um, starting center, 17 minutes. I'm going to give Jericho a C plus for this performance as well. Can't expect a whole lot from him at the moment, but he's doing little things to impact the game as well. And he's a young player with a bright future in this thing. He's locked up on a cheaper contract. Is Jericho as well? We'll wait to see. Durability is a key thing. We'll talk about Mitchell Robinson. We talked about Quentin Grimes for me and his impact. We'll talk about Mitch shortly, but with Jericho, yeah, he's a fan favorite, you could say, as well. People want to see him get an opportunity, and he's another case where he's going to get some more minutes, moving forward because of these injuries as well. And that's what we keep saying with the 82 game season. Anything can happen. Injuries happen, protocols, foul trouble, all of that. So you got to stay ready as well. So I want to see what Jericho can continue to do on this team this season. Now Jalen Brunson, minutes 34, which was good, not being overplayed, which is amazing. 9 of 14, man. Talk about efficiency again from JB. 2 of 5 from 3-point land. Hit all 3 free throws. 5 boards as well, 8 assists. You love to see that. 3 turnovers, 3 fouls. Was a +5 with 23 points. Well, so Mr. Efficiency. Well, Mr. Consistency. Well, those 2 words you love to hear from a New York Knick. Stand up. He's been this team's MVP for me so far this season. Not surprised because I predicted that would be the case. 10 games in, he's delivered in spades. He's producing, which is refreshing to see a Knicks player acquired in the offseason come in and deliver what was expected of them. He's not under delivering, maybe over delivering what some people expected. But for me, Jalen Brunson's giving us exactly what I thought it would be, which is steady point guard play, um, a guy that can get us a bucket whenever we need one, can control the offense, command respect, um, split the defense open. He was getting penetration last night, pause, and he was living in the paint, was Jalen Brunson. Um, you just admire his bag of tricks. He could step back, you could do the up and under move. You could drive straight to the cup and finish with a scoop layup. You can pop the 3 ball as well. I mean, just so underrated for me, Jalen Brunson. Even though he's getting more praise and more respect around the league, Jalen Brunson is still underrated for me, and he has more to go in his career, more gears to go. I feel. Um, yeah, I'm excited and happy that he's a New York Knick. He's a difference maker, absolutely. Is one of the main reasons why I believe this team is a true 500 team. I don't think they're going to fall too far below 500 at any point this season because of a guy like Jalen Brunson. He gives us a chance to win on any given night, basically. You know, you could affect the game in so many multiple ways. You can draw fouls, which is really critical, as well. Talk about when this team needs to steady the ship and get a bucket. He just doesn't need to necessarily get a bucket, but he can get fouled to help us get 2 free throws as well. He's great at manipulating the defense. He's great in isolation. And he's, like I said, he's got those bag of tricks, up and under moves, step back, fade away for such a short guy. I mean, you just got to admire the fact with JB is, for me, the fact that he's worked on his game so much. You could just tell this is a guy who doesn't have or isn't blessed with certain physical tools, is Jalen Brunson, but he's a guy that can get the best out of himself because he's trained hard and he's practiced hard on all these moves. I mean, these didn't come overnight for Jalen Brunson. I mean, Jalen Brunson in his first few years in the league was nothing but a backup, nothing but a backup. And he's worked and earned his way to being a paid, close to max salary paid starting point guard on winning teams as well. So just happy as a Nick. Again, Mr. Consistency so far and complete performance from Jalen Brunson. I mean, with the assists, the efficiency, the scoring, decent 3-point shooting as well. Got to give Jalen Brunson an A as well, another A. So stand up, Jalen Brunson. I think at least off the top of my head, out of the 10 games that the Knicks have played, I think Jalen Brunson's earned himself about 5 A's at least as well. So, I mean, talk about a return on investment for the New York Knicks. I'm happy with this contract and happy that he's a Knick as well. He gives us stability as well. And when I watch games, my blood pressure ain't as high because I just know we have a chance to win every single game. I mean, if you look at even some of the bad losses, we went toe to toe with Cleveland. We were up 9 points. We went toe to toe with Atlanta, blew a 23-point lead. And we went toe to toe with the Boston Celtics as well. And we all know what happened towards the end of that game, and the fact that Boston just shot the lights out, a record franchise shooting performance, and Knicks' poor performance defensively as well. But 3 key games that the Knicks really had a great chance to win as well. So that's further evidence that Jalen Brunson really has changed this team's expectations. And he's a player that can help us win on any given night. And if we get good performances like we did from Julius, and we get a performance like we did from RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson giving us what he gave us, then that's just like, yeah, the Knicks could seriously go on a streak with this situation as well. So with our big three starting to gel, it's positive signs for the future and for the record this season as well. So we gave Julius an A, we gave Brunson an A, I gave Cam Reddish B minus, and I gave Jericho Sims a C plus. Well, now for the final starting man, Star J Barrett, 37 minutes, led the team in minutes as well. He's a young bull and he's able to play meaningful, long, extended periods of time. He was 7 of 18 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3-point land, hit 5 of 6 free throws as well. And he rebounded really well, 2 steals, 5 assists, stand up, +4 in the box office, plus minus 22 points from RJ. Now, got quite a bit to say on RJ Barrett because, like I spoke on earlier in the show, right? At the beginning of the season, I had to predict an X factor, which player on this team is an X factor as well, that would really swing the team's success or failure for this season and moving ahead, right? And I couldn't look any further than RJ Barrett as the X factor for this team, right? You're looking at a team that is 500 right now, 5-5. Well, you could probably count most of RJ's good games on one hand. You could probably count RJ's bad games on one hand, right? And how many fingers on each hand? 5 fingers. So you could say RJ Barrett's had pretty much 5 decent to good performances, and about 5 poor performances overall. And what do we get? We're 5-5 right now. So RJ Barrett is this team's X factor, right? Now, for the next part of that discussion with RJ is he's starting to find his groove. He's starting to click now, is Star J Barrett. So shooting wise, again, 3 of 7 from 3-point land. That's nice. 7 of 18. It's not bad. I'll take it from an RJ performance in 37 minutes, 22 points. Again, helped us win the game. Just a great complementary performance to Brunson's and Randle's as well. And that's talking like, a team like Minnesota that aren't good defensively. That's just too much for them to handle, you know. we had what 3 guys score in the 20s and Julius in the 30s as well. So um, if those 3 guys have it going, we're a problem. We're a problem for any team. You could talk about RJ Barrett's ceiling, his future. Could he be a third player on a great team, a second option on a great team, a first option if you're a fan of his? Um, Regardless of that, for this team right now and this season, on any given night, he could be any of those 3. He could be the best player, the second player, or the third. With that, uh, he's obviously building his way to consistency, but RJ Barrett's starting to look comfortable now. I like the move to take it to the cup, the pump fake. He got the and one, got the dude in the air as well. He's starting to look more controlled on his drives as well. The finishing at the rim is looking more improved over the last like 3-4 games, and the shooting is really coming along for RJ Barrett after the slow start. Like I said, so um, a lot of people were saying that early on that RJ Barrett obviously does start slow, but then he does start to find his groove. He starts to click. Now we're 10 games into the season as well. It'd be a perfect time, an absolutely perfect time for RJ Barrett to find his groove right now and to go to that next level. Now that we're 10 games in, and he's starting to score with ease as well on better efficiency as well. So yeah, the X factor for me, he'll continue to be that for this team, right? But RJ Barrett has got ways to go, and that's the most pleasing thing because we know he could be so much better. He started the season slow, and he's got more gears in him. With that said, I like the assists. 5 assists. Getting other guys involved. The free throw shooting has improved as well. 5 of 6 last night as well. So keep that up, Broadway Barrett, and he's got to get a B+ for me. RJ Barrett, you could give him an A, just short of an A for me. Maybe I'll give him an A minus or B+. With that said, but yeah, the more pleasing thing is how he's turned things around in those last few games, and it's going to be key. I expect him to come out against Brooklyn and have another huge performance as well. I think he was incredibly motivated to play against Anthony Edwards and Minnesota. Given what Anthony said, some time ago, and that would have stuck with him as well. So yeah, he came out strong. Did bully Barrett, salute with him in the plus as well. Yep, bright future ahead. Let's get it as well. So yeah, salute replay gang. Appreciate everyone out here rocking with me. Yep, the streets are buzzing, no doubt. Smash that like button. That's the starting lineup from last night and the grades. It was just pleasing to lead wire to wire as well against the Western Conference playoff team, or what was dubbed a playoff play-in Western Conference team. Great win on the road. They're always good, to pick up these dubs on the road. We head to another road game in Brooklyn, which is not really a road game, but technically it is. And I think this team's poised to start picking up some dubs consistently now, start stringing off some wins in a row. Now, let's hit on the one, the only Obadiah Toppin. Well, hit the 26-minute mark as well. So salute, stand up. Got some minutes together with Julius because of the reason we know Mitch is out as well. Another intriguing look for this team. The offense is just looking great when they're on the floor together. Different looks. We know the wrinkles we could have, and it's just more enjoyable, more exciting basketball to watch as well. We can play faster up in this thing. 5 out shooting looks as well, which is really, really good to see. And Obi is no doubt on fire from the 3-point land. Man, 4 of 10 from the field, 3 of 8 from three, 4 of 4 from the free throw line as well. 4 steals. I mean, incredible, man. Stand up. 4 steals. Yep, absolutely incredible. Um, I'm actually, yeah, quite surprised that he got 8 three-point attempts up as well, but that's where we're at right now. I mean, he's got that green light from Tom, and he's going to continue to put them up as well. And he's hitting them at a decent clip, decent to great clip. Um, Rebounded okay, 7 boards, 3 assists. I love to see that. 4 steals, just filling the stat sheet. Um, to be a plus 13, 15 points in 26 minutes. Incredible, stand up. Um, that's 6 man of the year type numbers, that this team can need and rely upon, moving forward. Obi Toppin, talk about he's in a groove. Salute. Yeah, just really happy with how Obi's putting it together. Happy for the kid. The fact that he's getting more opportunities now. 26 minutes. That's nothing to gloss over or sneeze over. Um, in this stretch with Mitch out, and who knows how long Mitch is going to be out for. Obi's going to continue to get that burn with that. So salute. Um, yeah, in terms of his perception around the league, his value, I mean that's just going up exponentially as well, which is great for our future. And obviously, there's still the biggest question mark over how can we move together forward, in a sustainable way with Julius and Obi. Um, right now, it's working with Mitch out for Obi to get a bigger opportunity. Um, but there's no need to push any panic button or any, under any immediate pressure right now. We got some 30 odd games till the trade deadline. Um, for right now, I'm just happy in this moment to see these players play together, share the floor together, Julius and Obi. Um, it's been long needed and long, sorely lacking from Tom Thibodeau. This is a unit and a lineup that we needed to see more of from years ago, basically. Years ago, even in a smaller sample size, I'm okay with that. But we just needed to see it more, just to get Obi more minutes. Whether it was 3 more minutes a game, 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes. It's just it has to be done. Randle and Obi have to share the floor together more while they're both on this roster as well. While that question mark still remains, we're going to continue to look for this as well. But it's been pleasing that it's delivering, and so that Tom Thibodeau can see for his own eyes. And of course, it's not going to work against every single different lineup. We know that, but it puts the onus on the other team to say, "Hey, you match up against us now. You match up against this. We can play faster. We can shoot better. We can better floor spacing for Barrett and for RJ with those guys on the floor as well." So Obi Toppin, stand up. I'll give Obi a B. I'm gonna give Obi an A actually. Yeah, I'll give Obi a solid A for that. 8th overall selection, New York's own. Stand up, having a great season so far with that. So one of the most enjoyable, pleasing aspects of watching this team right now is to see Obi in action as well. So let's get those minutes up. Let's keep them where they're at, and let's keep him playing, man. Now Isaiah Hartenstein, right? 21 minutes, shot 1 of 3, missed the 3-point attempt, 2 of 2 from the line. He pulled in 6 boards, 2 offensively, 2 assists, a block, a turnover, 4 fouls, +9, and 4 points. So great hustle, great energy again from Isaiah. He sets great screens. Good to see him get a block again. He's probably going to be close to averaging a block in limited minutes. So, he ain't the defender Mitchell Robinson is. We're definitely missing a, a true guy that can patrol the paint and deter drives. But Isaiah is just giving us heart. He's giving us energy. He's giving us hustle as well. You can't put a price on that in limited minutes as well. And the amount of times he's cleaning up misses, with putbacks and all of those things, and you can't sneeze over the +9 as well. his plus minus, I think, is in the best of this entire team this season overall is Isaiah. So, when he's on the floor, he's impacting winning. He's impacting um, the ball going our way, hustle and energy as well. So the floater is there. Um, he's not the best rebounder as well with that situation. We've got to mention that as well. We can definitely get out rebounded. He's prone for picking up fouls as well, but I'll take it because he gives you energy. He's hustling. He's always trying to keep the ball alive. Well, you can't put a price on that, fam. So salute Isaiah Hartenstein. Well, great pickup so far this season. I'll give him a solid D for this performance against Mini. Right now, D Rose returned to one of his former teams, played 14 minutes, missed 9 shots, was 1 of 10 from the field. He missed all his threes. Now, definitely D Rose was coming off the bench cold. When he was missing those threes, they were short arming them as well. But plus 11 with that and just 2 points. So D Rose, again, another glimpse into the fact that D Rose isn't that guy that is going to win us games consistently like he was 2 seasons ago. But a dude who can still impact winning, in 14, 15 minutes, however long he's playing. D Rose keeps the defense on their toes. He's got the dribble drive penetration as well. Sometimes the three ball's popping, sometimes it's not, you know. So, but D Rose, 3 steals, which is very, very notable. Stand up. 3 steals for D Rose, giving you effort. The shot wasn't fallen, but he was still a plus 11 as well. So I'll give D Rose a B minus from last night. Now, Deuce McBride got in for a minute in garbage time. Not too much to say on Deuce at the moment. Got to give him an incomplete. But Deuce McBride, his time will come. Like I said, 82 games. He's situational right now. I'm all for trying to throw Deuce out there for a situational play to try to, change the intensity on the defensive end. But when that time comes, that'll happen. But right now, with Cam Reddish in the starting unit, our perimeter defense has picked up a little. So yeah. With that said, Deuce has just got to wait his time, right? Now, Evan Fournier, 12 minutes, played 11 minutes the other night. Has been relegated to the bench from his starting spot. Now, he's looked definitely a player who's lost some confidence. That can happen. Evan can still dribble, drive, can still play make, can still hit a shot. All of those things, but defensively, is hurting us. When he's on the floor, as well, he hurts us defensively when he's on the floor, and that's the main reason why he's lost out his spot. You know. Um, what the future holds for Evan is obviously going to be a hot topic that everyone's going to be talking about moving forward. With his minutes dropped so drastically, Evan Fournier, I look for him to be a pro, about it. He's definitely hurting in confidence right now. To lose your starting spot, what's sort of up with that. Evan's been around a minute. Um, the thing is about Evan is he's a player that will still have interest around the league. I feel. Obviously the contract's not the best contract situation. We may need to attach another piece or take back other salary um, in any potential future trade. Um, right now, it's looking that way. I would not be shocked if Evans off the team, by the trade deadline. Would I be shocked if he's still on the team? No, I wouldn't. He's expiring after next season, so he's got one more year after this season. Then he's expiring as well. So he's a good locker room guy. Is Evan? He's a guy that's not going to hurt you staying on the roster. They could always limit his minutes off the bench, use in case of injury, or they could just stop playing him, full stop, if they so want to. Um, his minutes definitely have dropped very, very drastically, and it looks like his role on this team is very, very minimal right now. But having said that, an injury to Cam Reddish or Quentin Grimes staying out could obviously change that, and Evan could stick around as well. So, yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see in the next week or two as well whether we see this trend, continue with Evan Fournier and his very reduced role. Um, it is very noteworthy that he was a plus 15 in his 12 minutes, which is along the lot, more along the better stat line of Evans. Obviously, playing 12 minutes off the bench, that was probably a period of time when we were on a streak, with Obi shooting, Randle shooting as well. So I'm going to give Evan Fournier a C minus for his performance. Now, Mikhailuk, 1 minute, situational, incomplete for last night, but he's a situational guy who's a backup. Again, used in case of any injury, coming up. But Svi's a veteran. He could hit some shots. He can defend. Yeah, he's there for an emergency, for a fill-in and a backup role. Let's hope that injury-wise we're good. So we don't need to see him. Nothing against the guy. I like him. Actually, I like him. I know he'll probably come on and hit a few shots. He'll produce, but realistically, if we're relying on him, we're probably not in a good position. So I hope we see less of him moving forward. Now, IQ 17 minutes, right? 3 of 6 efficient, 1 of 2 from 3 efficient, hit both free throws. Um, Rebounded decent again, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, a turnover, 2 fouls. I like the 2 steals from IQ and the plus 15, 9 points. So stand up, IQ. These are the more consistent stat lines that I want to see from IQ more moving forward, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Again, I keep saying this. I don't want IQ's best performance and worst performance to be so far away. Um, in 17 minutes, that's perfect. 50% from the field, 50% from 3-point land. Got to the line a little, some rebounds in the 17 minutes, plus 15, 9 points as well, controlling the offense with that. Again, I'd love to see the assists go up, just 1 assist, but I can live with it. With that kind of performance, Emmanuel, quickly, you get a B plus for that situation last night, right? Key piece off the bench to keep things rolling when the Knicks were up by so much, right? So yeah, to recap, feel good win as well. Amazing to win wire to wire on the road. To be honest, I wasn't expecting us to play this well. I definitely thought the Knicks could beat Minnesota. I predicted that the Knicks would split this game and the Brooklyn game, but they've picked up the first one. So that's been amazing. Yeah. With that said, let's look at the road moving ahead now that we've given out our grades, and the Minnesota and the Brooklyn game. I thought splitting those two would be a good result, but we've won the first one now. We're playing with house money now, and I cannot state how big this next game is coming up. To go to Brooklyn now and make a statement, with all the dysfunction going on there. KD, they lost last night as well. Ben Simmons had his ankle broke. Injuries galore, issues with Kyrie, issues with Emi Udoka. It's looking like, that hire may not go through. So what a better time, no better time for the Knicks to head in there, man, and just put their foot on their throat right now. The New York Knicks have a better record than Brooklyn. We have less dysfunction than Brooklyn. We're the funner team, KD, than Brooklyn right now. We're at 500. And who would have predicted that? So let's for once, right, not let this game slip, right? We let a couple slip last season, couple of bad calls with the refs, couple of follies, all of that stuff in the back of my memory now. But no better time now than to go to the Barclays Center and put our foot on their throats of Brooklyn, right? And pick up the dub, right? Jalen Brunson coming up in here is going to put on a show. Julius Randle, let's hope the shooting, continues. Ladies and gentlemen, Obi Toppin, poppin, the three ball. The Knicks have got all the feel good vibes right now after this big win in mini, and we've got to continue it. We've got to keep it rolling. That situation, because as I said, look at after the Brooklyn game, right? We got Detroit and we got OKC at the Garden. So I mean, man, look at that situation, right? We could be on a 4-game win streak if we pick up this big dub in Brooklyn. I mean, as good as me, Nick Streets as well, how big this next game is because it just opens up, fam. The streets will be buzzing, smashing that like button with that situation. Yeah, the Knicks could really set their season up. Um, not to mention it's right before the West Coast trip as well, man. Let's say we put the beat down on Brooklyn, we pick up dubs against Detroit, OKC, and then we head into a juicy lineup, a matchup in Utah, man, on the West Coast trip at the start of that trip as well, against one of the hottest teams in the league right now. The best team out west right now, number one spot, is the Utah Jazz, ladies and gentlemen. Danny Ainge's tank job is going in complete reverse, flipped up, upside down, all of that good stuff right now. The Utah Jazz are the feel good story of the season so far, right? The Cinderella story. I don't expect that to last long. I don't think they're built for sustained winning, but they're definitely going to pick up a lot more wins than what people expected with that situation. So yeah, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, like I said, how critical are these next few games? You know, it's just unbelievable how critical these are. Um, really happy with this performance. The bench is starting to turn a leaf with quickly Obi playing the way he's playing. Um, Evan Fournier could add some stability to the bench with that as well if he continues to embrace that. Hopefully his confidence ain't completely shot. Um, I think because Quentin Grimes is going to be out for a bit longer. But Cam Reddish continuing to get that chance with the starting unit. I'm really pleased and enjoying seeing what I'm seeing so far from him, and what he offers that starting unit, and a nice boost, a punch to the defense at the point of attack as well. Getting in passing lanes, his length, his size, finishing on the break as well is really nice. And it also allows the Knicks to play faster. With that said, pace is really important for this team and shooting as well. So, I mean, it's a lineup a lot of fans hope for. Um, there's a lineup of Brunson, RJ, Cam, Obi, and Randle as well that had a lot of success that people want to see more of as well. With while Mitch is out, it does give this team an opportunity to see these lineups, a lot more, and better floor spacing, better pace as well. Yeah, and I'm starting to see a lot more conversation about Mitch, as we touch on Mitch before we get ready to wrap this thing up. Mitch is the dude. Mitch being out is the dude that's allowing these looks to happen that we wouldn't have normally got an opportunity to see. Right, here's the $15 million man. Um, with that said, first things first. I hope Mitch's injury ain't anything serious, and it doesn't sound like it is anything serious as well. So Mitch adds a lot of value to this team. Is really important with the rebounding, offensive rebounding. If we're not shooting well, second chance points, um, keeping the defense out of the paint, block shots. We all know Mitch's impact as well, and he's certainly had a pretty consistent season so far. Having said that, definitely there's lineups and looks that the Knicks can't show and display while Mitch is there on the court, right? Floor spacing is an issue with Julius, with Randle, with Julius, with RJ and Mitch on the floor together. Their floor spacing ain't good with that situation. It ain't good. So um, with Isaiah, with Sims, I know Sims can't really stretch the floor, but with Isaiah, it does give a bit more floor spacing. But definitely with Obi and Randle, it takes floor spacing on this team to the next level with five guys that can shoot the three ball as well. So yeah, it's going to be fascinating. Mitch ain't going to come back for these next. I would say these next at least 2, 3 more games minimum. We know Mitch is going to be reevaluated after 7 to 10 days from a few days ago. So it's probably at least another week away. Another week away. So he's going to miss the Brooklyn, Detroit, probably OKC game, possibly back early for that one, if not the West Coast trip at earliest. So we're going to get a bigger look without Mitch on this team. I like what I saw with Sims again. If it's a big body, I'm okay with Sims starting as well. You keep Isaiah Hartenstein coming off the bench for that energy boost. Keeping his fouls down as well. Jericho sets great screens. He can guard the perimeter. He can shuffle his feet well. He gives you the rebounding that we miss with Mitch as well. Strong rebounding, the putbacks, the athleticism, and playing above the rim is what Jericho can give the Knicks. So that's huge, for this team. So yeah, I'll probably assume that Sim starts again. I mean, why change it? The Knicks played really well. The Knicks won. Keep Hartenstein off the bench still and start Jericho Sims again for one more game against Brooklyn. I mean, yeah, I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section of this thing as well. But yeah, Jericho will probably get the start again, in my opinion, if I had to guess. And we'll probably see some more minutes with Randle and Obi at the 4 and the 5, definitely against Brooklyn, because they can go small with Simmons, with KD, and with Claxton as well. Um, you know, and some other guys, that are out at the moment. So yeah, perfect opportunity for the Knicks in this next game against Brooklyn to go smaller with that look. Hartenstein will get his minutes off the bench as well. So yeah, fam, we get ready to wrap this thing up. Mitchell Robinson's impact is still missed, but I'm fascinated to say the least to see how this offense continues to thrive with Mitch out. And there's no disguising it. 118 points, 120 points as well. Our offense can go to a different gear with Mitch out of the lineup. So yeah, let us know your thoughts on Mitch in that situation in the comment section as well. But he's had a real consistent season. He's doing what he's being paid to do as well. So that's no knock on Mitch at all. The the blocks, the rebounds offensively, the putbacks, all of those things, Mitch has been great at this season. Conditioning wise, he's looked better conditioned as well. Um, you know, Not going to go as far as to say he's any injury prone or anything. I mean, he picked up an innocuous injury. It doesn't seem like it's going to be too long on the sidelines. If it's a recurring thing, then that's becoming more of a problem right now. But with Mitch's injury, I'm fine with him being out for a minute. Um, let's just see how this offense looks, and what these other centers do. Happy for Sims to be getting his opportunities as well. Happy for Cam to be getting this opportunity right now and giving this team a different wrinkle. And happy to see Obi Toppin minutes go more and more and more up, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, with that said, it was a great win in mini. I think this could be the catalyst for a nice run now, a nice streak. This team is a real 500 team this season. Mark my words. I don't feel like they're going to drop below 500 much, by very much. When I say that, I mean 5, 6, 7 games under 500. I don't think we'll see that this season. There's just too much talent on this roster with guys like Jalen Brunson that will lead us to a lot more victories than what we otherwise would have won. You know, so I'm excited to see what happens as well. You know, we rock out with the team, the squad, and the streets are buzzing. Smash that like button, and we'll definitely catch you on the next one. Peace.